Well, hello, everyone. How are y'all doing? I'm just doing a quick pre-game live for right now until my big bro Dave goes live, and I'm also biding time until Miss Star takes her lunch. So, anyways, today is Survival Thursday, and you know me, I do everything on the cheap, and we're here at dun 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 Goodwill. Yeah. So we're going to see what we can discover at Goodwill. Hey, CR, how you doing, brother? But yeah, I already found some survival stuff already. At another thrift store. Hey, Tammy, I found this Lifeline first aid kit water bottle, survival bottle. How you doing, sis? How you doing, CR? Yeah, so I don't know how well this bottle is. The top pops off and everything. It's a plastic bottle. I found this at another thrift store. It was $1.50 for it. So the top doesn't pop on that well, so I'm gonna have to either super glue it or something. But I mean, it's packed full of stuff. It's got, let's see here. You're in a survival situation, so it's got a triangle bandage, antiseptic towelettes, some regular plastic bags for water containment. It has more towelettes. It's got tweezers, some medical tape, some tissues in it. So it's got it's got enough medical stuff in there, but it doesn't have any. I mean, it does say first aid on it. So, I mean, it's still good, but I don't know why they come up with these ideas, stick a first aid kit in a water bottle, because that's kind of like a contradiction. You've got to empty all this out. You've got to empty all this out so you can have water in an emergency situation. So you're already losing your container if you don't have a container. It's all right. I mean, and then I also found one of those 1980s survival knives, the hollow handle survival knives, but this one comes with a whetstone. But I mean, it's a Taiwan, made in Taiwan. It's got a saw blade on the back, semi saw blade. But Hey, what's up, stranger? What's up, Steve? It's got a basic pop out, alcohol filled compass, button compass on it. This one's actually pretty accurate, though, because north is that way. It's all right. I mean, it'll get you basic where you need to go, but it did come with the 1980s little survival kit. It's got like 3 matches in it. Yeah, it's got 3 matches in it. It's got hooks, fishing line, and sinkers in it. So, I mean, and plus, the thing with these that nobody ever uses is the handle can be used as a water container because it has an O-ring on it. So, a lot of survival channels and survival experts, they don't take that into consideration. Yeah, it's only like half a cup of water, but in a survival situation, that half a cup of water will save your life. You know what I mean? And this was only $1.50. I mean, I know it's one of those old gimmick Rambo knives, but it still works. But yeah, I'm gonna do this is everything. All right, Steve, brother. Thank you for coming in and listening, sir. Yeah, I don't like that water bottle first aid kit thing. Yeah, it doesn't have a lot of life-saving instruments in it. You know what I mean? CR for that first aid water bottle. But also it's kind of a counterbalance to a survival esque container because you have to empty out the whole entire container to fill it up with water. That means all your stuff, if you don't have enough pockets or if you don't have cargo pants or something to put all that stuff in, it's kind of a lost cause. You know what I mean? Yes, sir, brother. Thank you, Steve. My mudlarking stranger times, brother. Yeah. So we're here at Goodwill. You know me. Always looking on the cheap to make the best survival kit for anybody. And survival kits, just like ordinary life, are constantly changing. So, ain't that the truth, Tammy? But I ain't got no bra with me. Yeah, yeah. CR. Pretty much. I bought it because yeah, it was cheap, but also to show people the reasons not to buy something like that. It's good if something like that is good for like home use, not for a survival situation. Like say something like Katrina or whatever, where you need it at home base. For preppers, stuff like that. For preppers, this is good. This you can keep it at home. You don't have to throw it in a bag. You don't have to do whatever. Keep it at home, and it's one of those give out items. You know what I mean? Like a barter item. You could barter this for, say, 3 chickens, because there's enough medical supplies in here to actually take care of small wounds and everything. And plus, there's also a container in it. All you have to do is barter with this, you're good to go. Or if you have somebody, you have a family member or whatever that needs something, you can barter with that. Or put it in your car. You know what I mean? Like a to-go, like on-the-go car base survival system. You could use it for that. Yes, sir, stranger brother. We is at the Goodwill store, or secondhand stores, is what y'all call them. All right, let's go in here and look around. Does that sound like a plan? Then, afterwards, I want, I'm going to have like an open panel. Then we can discuss. And see, the thing with Goodwill, it's always changing. You never know what you're going to find at Goodwill. It's better to be in states that usually have, to get the best like survival gear or hunting, camping, whatever gear, is to be in the Goodwills near like state parks or places like in Tennessee, Georgia, Kentucky, stuff like that, like on the Appalachian Trail. Because those people, after they go through the Appalachian Trail, they usually donate their stuff so they don't have to take it back with them. Those are usually the best places to find stuff like that. No problem, CR, bro. I already found a hat. Hold on. No, it's not good. It's like a Freddy Krueger Halloween hat. I thought it was going to be a decent hat. Let's see what survival books they have. Let's see if they have anything good here. Because usually you can find some prepping and survival books that people just don't use anymore. Travels of Marco Polo. No, nothing in their how-to sections. So how is everyone today? Huh? Are you all doing good? All right, take care, Steve. Thanks for stopping by, brother. see if we can find anything worth something. Usually 90% of the time in the richer areas, you don't really find anything worth. Excuse me. Not even any good stainless steel containers. There's a prepping item. Old school hand drill for the end of the world. It works and everything. $4.99 for an old hand drill. These would work, especially if you're a prepper. Like those are, I have like 400 of them. A rifle bag. That ain't bad for an all leather rifle bag. Oh, yeah, I was gonna say, how's your mom doing, sis? Steve beat me to it. Hey. I need one of these. That seems like a buy. Ow, ow. Digital camo bag. I have too many bags. Way too many bags. This is $2. I don't know if it's $2 or $4. Whatever. Hey. Yeah. This seems like a no-go today. That's why you always got to be constantly on the move with, always constantly looking at these places. Ooh, cats would love that. Yeah, this seems like a no-go today. Oh well, the quicker I get out of here, the quicker we can have an open panel. These are the lazy man root pullers or potato pullers or whatever you need for your garden. That would be something good for a prepper. Look, the zombie ammunition box. That's awesome. Yeah. There's a zombie apocalypse. $2.99 for it. That's not a bad price. It's really not a bad price. We may take that. But yeah. Smoothie Elite. Oh, Tammy, you can make your late night smoothies with that. Your adult smoothie, should I say? Hmm. There's a bicycle. Well, there we go. $4.99 for a Coleman 5-gallon water bucket. That's good for start only, but I don't need that. Mm. We're gonna take this because I like the zombie box. All right. See if there's anything here that's worth anything. You got an emergency poncho. Tammy, do you want to see if they have any hot boots for you? Hey, Hellcat. Hey, Mittens. How are y'all doing? All right, Tammy, we're gonna go because I love you, sis. We're gonna go see if there's any hot boots for you. Oh, oh, there you go. Tammy. Look at those. Go with these. Look at those. It's all for you, Tammy. It's all for you, sis. Or you can go with some moccasin boots. Got you there, Minnesota. Yeah, Minnesota. Oh, there you go, Tammy. It's time for the safe word. Yes, ma'am. Always time for a safe word. You know it, but yeah, there ain't nothing here. Nope. All right. So, the only thing we found today is this ammo box for $3. It's good enough. Oh, let me see what hats they have. Oh, uh-oh, uh-oh. Mm. No, nothing my style. Nothing for me. All right. Ooh, let's go back to the 80s with corduroy. I don't do not want to go back to the 80s. 80s are the devil. Right. Dave always needs a safe word. I cannot believe Mama. It's adorable.
Someone wanted to buy. No, she was just making food out. Oh, that's the ice. Have a good night, okay? Bye.
How you doing?
How are you? I'm doing good.
I'm doing good.
It's gonna be better later.
Right. Especially when you're off, right?
Okay, 324, okay?
All right.
Give me 1 second.
Right.
Go ahead.
All right. Thank you much.
Have a great night.
Oh, you too. You have a blessed one.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye. What?
All right. All right. So we're done with that. We're done with that. We're flipping around. Oh, oh crap. All right. So, how are you doing, you lovely, lovely caramel dripped zebra cakes? Anyways, that's a good box. It's a good ammo box. And if not an ammo box, it's a good car. It's a good car. Oh, speaking of survival bags, there you go. Yeah, that's my go bag or get home bag. It can be either one. It's a multi-purpose bag. It can also be an inch bag in a short-term survival situation. Like I gotta leave my house for like 3 months. I have enough gear in that bag I could survive for 3 months, then come back to my house. Well, yeah, it's my get home bag. It's my bug out, like my temporary bug out bag, my 72 hour. I mean, like, easy 72-hour bag. I'm more made it to be like a 3 month kit just in case. Sure. How much do they want, Tammy? Yeah, no, no, screw that, sis. Th- well, it's got both buy it and her kit. So that's what I'm saying. Like, if something happened, like, it's enough for me and her to be able to survive 3 months. Um, it's got her stuff, it's got my stuff, and combined together, we could do 3 months. Um, but it's a short-term inch bag, which inch bags are I'm never coming home bags. But I live so far out in the country that I would have to be dead stuck in the center of the city and not be able to reach home because nobody knows where my house is. Like, my house is in the middle of 7 acres surrounded by trees. So, unless they're literally looking for my house, like dead set on searching for my house, they're not going to find it unless they go over it and see it from like an airplane. Yeah, it's got a little bit more. Uh, it's got longer term survival gear in it than quick survive stuff. It's got all my ferrocerium rods in it. It's got my stoves. It's got my breakdown, cooking kit with it from IKEA. It's got my water bottles. It's got my sleeping system in it. It's got a makeshift super shelter in it. It's got mine and her both survival scarves and shamogs. It's got enough cutting implements in it to survive and handle any situation. Um, we have four breakdown saws from different sizes, from 6-inch saw hand saws all the way down to 1.5-inch hand saws. It's got enough. I mean, it even has a 2-person old Vietnam pup tent in it, a 2-person pup tent. Yeah, that's good. That's always good, Maria. Always stockpile that stuff. And if you stockpile it in containers, make sure you rotate it out. And you want to add 1 drop of bleach to every 1 gallon of water in your stockpile. If you have it in a container, like that 5-gallon container I showed you, if if it's just got a twist on seal on it and you're filling it up, you want to put 1 drop of bleach in it for every 1 gallon so you can continuously keep that water. Hey David, how you doing, brother? Yeah, I mean, canned goods and stuff, the non-perishables, they're good for home defense, for like home stockpiling. But trying to carry a lot of canned foods with you, unless they're the small cans of like tuna or ham or whatever, it weighs you down a lot. Uh, I mean, all food weighs you down because it's food. Um, but the things you want is like all safe food. Like with your meats, you want salted meats. Um, like beef jerky or salted ham, anything, or air dried meat, smoked meat, stuff like that. That all works. But yeah, Maria. I mean, MREs have seen a real price increase over the last like 5 years because a lot of people are prepping for another like epidemic scare. Um, So you need to stockpile on MREs, canned food, stuff like at least the basics: bean, rice, flour, just in case. Yes, they are. And you also got to think. You also got to add clothing into that too. You don't think clothing weighs a lot, but you always want to have at least 3 days of clothing. You want to have like 3 days of clothing in any go bag. I mean, you don't want to keep wearing the same clothing every day. Say you're in an inch bag and you got to go out. People are saying, "Oh, if end of the world happens, I'll just run to a Goodwill and get clothes out of there." Well, that's a good idea, but in an end of the world situation or an epidemic or whatever, you're not going to be able to go get those clothes. So always keep like 3 sets of clothes: summer clothes and winter clothes. So that's really 6 sets of clothes that you have. See, the thing with shipping containers, they're a great idea. Yes. But burying them underground, like an underground bunker, it's still thin steel. Okay. I mean, it's thicker than like sheet metal or anything like that. But you gotta put how much stuff you have in it already. Then you gotta times how much the weight of the earth you're putting on top of that. So you have to reinforce the top of it. Um, there is shipping containers that's been found on people's lands. That's been bunkers from the Cold War, and also from the 50s and the 60s and stuff that are still around. But you also got to think of the water that, the rainfall of your land, because the ground gets soaked, especially if you have like times of the year where you get constant rain for, say, weeks at a time. If you get like a week worth of rain and saturate that ground is like a giant sponge of water that's on top of that metal. So you're going to get rust, you're going to get everything that's going on top of that metal. That's also going to put your bunker into problems. Um, so you got to take into nature into anything that you do also, because nature will take back anything. Because you don't, I mean, if you're up north, like CR's in Canada, he can tell you about moss. I mean, moss saturates anything, and moss holds on to water forever. I mean, it never dries out. So if you're in a mossy area, stuff like that, you got to think not only is the constant rain going to soak that moss, and that moss is going to continue to hold that water, but it's also going to leak down into the ground, leak onto the metal, rust, fall apart on you. So always reinforce the roof, the sides, everything on top of the price of the shipping container. Um, Maria, the basic idea is your shipping container. There's companies out in like California, Nevada, stuff like that. Um, Also in the Midwest. like from West Texas going all the way up the Mississippi River. Those places make tornado safe plastic bunkers, but they're expensive because they're made out of heavy duty plastic, and it's to withstand the weight of the earth and everything like that. So you're looking at like a 10 by 12 plastic, all weather resistant plastic bunker for like, I think I saw the cheapest one sell on eBay for like $43,000. But you know, you can buy a shipping container for like $1,500. Then you can put like another $2,000 to $3,000 on reinforcing it, and you still would come out cheaper, even the burying cost and everything of it. Yeah, Maria, it's a lucrative business now. It's really lucrative, especially for prepper communities. Prepper communities, they want all, you know, a lot of the preppers are rich people, so they have money to spend. Yeah, Maria, I would, if you're gonna do anything, go with a shipping container, because you're gonna get more room, and you're able to make it your own. You don't have to buy a preset. Let me put a link on, and whoever wants to come up, I'm going to do a survival open panel today. So y'all just let me know, y'all come up here and just talk with me. Let me invite guests, copy to clipboard, post comment. Paste, chat. There we go. All right. If anybody wants to come up here and talk, we're gonna discuss survival stuff, discuss the best ways, also discuss prepping, discuss anything that's like this, because I really don't want to talk about cryptids. Yeah, David, that like I said, yeah, it's really a lucrative business now because of the tiny house movement. And a lot of people, like in California, stuff like that, shipping cities. A lot of people are buying these retired. Boom.
Boom.
Hey, sis, what's up, Hellcat?
Not much. How the heck do you get rid of all the waste you're going to have?
You, like, with anything plastic and stuff. Thank you, Dave, brother. How you doing? Like the way, like you're talking about, like human waste or just all waste in general?
Human waste.
Human waste. You want to compost it so you can start making your gardens and everything. You can compost human waste, chicken waste, animal waste, stuff like that. Put it in a composter, reuse it. Have you ever seen the movie The Martian with it was the space the guy that was trapped on Mars and had to survive?
Yep. Yeah.
Okay.
that's how he was able to plant all those potatoes and survive for so long, because it was 3 months that he had to live on Mars. And what he did was they would vacuum seal, like, the theory was that they would use the bathroom, it would vacuum seal and go into a holding tank. And what he did was go and grab all the individual packets, and because it was already air sealed, like the air was taken out of it and everything. So he used that as the fertilizer and everything to plant his potatoes. And, you know, they still use that in Mexico. You know, like they still use human.
What if you're trying to hide? How do you do it when you're trying to hide?
Pretty much, you don't want to be in anywhere open. I mean, if it's an end of the world situation, you want to plant as many trees around and blend in with the surroundings. You can go to any like military surplus places, stuff like that. If you plant trees around your house and you get like what they call house ghillie nets, you can put it over your house and blend it in with the same trees that you have. So,
well, what if you're in the bunker?
Oh, if you're in the bunker, nobody's going to know.
But how you get rid of your waste then?
Oh, I saw one guy in the prepper community, well, survival prepper community. He actually has he buried his shipping container, and he put a incinerator toilet in his container. And what an incinerator toilet does, it literally incinerates your waste. Yeah. So you don't have anything. All you have is just ashes afterwards. But you have to find a way to get rid of the ashes. And what he did was he made a drop hole. He made a 12-foot hole underneath where the toilet is. And it's just a chute going into this hole. And he just drops the ash into it.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's ingenious, actually, but that costs money too.
Yeah, I mean the incinerator toilet, just a basic one, the cheapest one is like $3,000. Yeah. And I mean, but the thing is, also with an incinerator toilet, you have to have a fuel source also to go with it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he does have his propane tank up above it, but it looks like it's connected to the house and nothing else.
Mm-hmm.
So he made an underground connector hose that connects to his incinerator toilet. And yeah,
it'd be pretty difficult if it rains in here. Hi, Rain.
Yeah, Rain's here. Carl's here. But yeah, I mean, they're like I said, you know, with a container unit and everything, you can make it any way you want. You know, you can start from scratch with it. All these other things, they set it pre-made, so nobody has to worry about it. There's a company in California that makes it like a exclusive, like high-end underground bunkers. They have like satellite internet connection. They have like TV hookups. It's like an underground apartment instead of a bunker.
Wow.
You know? Yeah. It's.
You don't need all that, really.
Right. You don't. I mean, at the end of the world, who's going to be? The only thing you're going to be able to do is watch like old YouTube stuff, and that's
Yeah.
until the internet runs out,
Yeah.
because you need humans to keep all that stuff up.
Right.
But the basic thing that you're going to need, and Dave could tell you, is you need a like CB radio or some way to be able to communicate with other communication specialists, like ham radio operators, stuff like that, so you can actually have some kind of human interaction.
Right.
Because that's all that's going to be. And yes, there is solar generators now, but in my opinion, I'd rather just have a lot of solar panels like placed in certain locations on my property and all the wires running to it.
Right.
But if needed, make a solar generator. Have a solar generator just in case purposes,
Yeah. Yeah.
But
because you ain't gonna be able to get out and get no fuel for a regular generator.
Right. And and you can make diesel. You can anybody can make a primitive diesel gas, and it's out of like grease from it's grease and one part grease, one part some kind of chemical, one part some other kind of chemical, and you mix it together and you can make temporary diesel gas out of it, and you can use that. Yeah. But that means you're leaving the safety and the comfort of your bunker to go out.
And it also creates smoke, does it not?
Yes.
That pretty much gives away where you're at.
And it smells. It you will find you can smell that fast food grease. So
yeah.
We'll see with the wind turbines, Carl. Like you need them a certain height, and if it's above the tree lines and everything, that's our and say it's an end of the world kind of situation. Like say another country takes over or whatever. If you have wind turbines out and they're doing aerial patrols and they see like wind turbines, unless you can make it look like the old farm wind like windmills, they probably won't notice that. But a new age one, they look so high tech and everything that they would go there wondering if that's like a military installation base, because normal citizens don't think to have wind turbine or water turbines. But water turbines, there is a it's called sub-go water turbines, and you can
creative redundancies in the basement.
Oh, hey, sorry, CR, I didn't even hear it. There we go. Hey, CR bro, sorry about that.
Hello. I didn't want to use. I mean, never mind. Yeah.
I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry.
10 minutes later. 10 minutes later.
Hellcat's a good scout for me. Hey, Shrimp, how you doing? But that water turbine, it's good. It's about like $400 for it, but it also needs a running stream, so to make the water. But there's also cooking implements called BioLite that you can buy, and what you do is you make your fire, your cooking fire, and everything in it, and it has a heat generator inside of it. The heat that's produced from the fire creates enough of an electrical charge to be able to charge temporary electronics. Like you can charge a
like
cell
you're
phone.
saying. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, like, but they're
you're gonna have to have a heat
expensive.
source.
Yeah,
You're gonna have something
Oh,
to make
that's
the
meant
heat.
for like
Wood,
electronics. Bro.
and then you've got to leave the safety of the bunker.
yeah. And you know, the thing is, like, if you're making an underground bunker, you're also going to need to make air abilities to cycle air out. You know, you're going to have a wind turbine to push air out, just like when you cook over the hood of a you cook under a hood of a stove. You know,
Right.
you need something to pull that out, even if you're not cooking or anything. Just the reuse of the air in that thing can.
You'd be like giving yourself carbon monoxide poisoning because you're breathing out carbon monoxide.
Yeah. Right. Because even in space, they need carbon scrubbers, right? So you might need that. You might actually need that, right? Because you need that fresh air coming into the system, or else, because CO and carbon dioxide actually will sink down because they're heavier.
Right.
So.
Yeah. Thanks, Dave. I'm just not used to having people up on panel.
What?
Sure.
This is my second time.
I'm learning. I'm trying to learn.
We've all been learning.
Right. See, like, I've said it multiple times. Like, I want to see, like, me and CR. How long have we known each other? Like, what, 2 years, 3, something like that?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, like, CR is one of my guys. Like, at the end of the world.
Oh! I feel so special. I feel so honored.
I've known you for a year, Matt.
Do what's this?
I've known you for a year. Just a year.
Yes, ma'am. Don't worry. If anything happens, I'm putting out an open invitation for everybody. Y'all can come to my installation.
There you go. New community.
Yeah. It's it's free open. You know what I mean? It's like, you know, everybody has a purpose and everybody has skills, and there's not a single person that is a master at everything. You know, even a jack at everything. You know.
So pretty much, Carl, if they drop nukes, you're done, huh? No bunker, no nothing. Oh, shoot.
Yeah.
Can I add a couple things in here? You guys were talking about that power stuff for a moment.
Yeah, brother.
Yeah, see, I mean, I've seen on Kickstarter and all of these other things. You can see it on YouTube too. These are this kind of gadgets for producing power, right? Now, most of them are for like small scale, like 5 volt for your smartphone, something like that, right? They have wind and like water powered versions of them, right? But then, but those are small scale, not big scale, right? Where you're generating enough to recharge like a car battery or lead acid battery, lithium ion type of batteries and stuff like that, right? I mean, I have small scale. I hope to get into that bigger scale soon, right? It will, you know, where you're like doing like 12 volt, 120, right? Not just 5, right?
Yeah.
You know, more than just those camp gadgets that you would use to bring to have power, right? You know,
right?
You know, a little bit more than just a battery bank, right? I mean, you know how many? You know, it's funny. I don't know how many people actually have battery banks, but you'd be surprised how many people actually don't have that. Even though I thought it was more common. I mean, my first one was like back in 09. My first battery bank. I had one since 09. I was just like during power outages, I'm like, oh, what? You don't have a power bank or battery bank? They're like, what's that? Oh, right. So
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah.
you know, we all know TVs and their Blu-rays and these gaming consoles and your smart TVs, but no one knows about battery banks. Okay.
We just fire up the generator.
Yeah. See, like this is my battery bank. This is.
Oh, okay. I got them. I thought you meant some big scale thing.
No. I'm talking about like small for your phone. They usually deliver like 5 volts of power out, right? You know, some of them have LED lights and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. The only bad thing about the battery banks is, unless you get the really high expensive battery banks, most of them like this, they only keep a charge for like 4 days. And if you don't use it, it cleans itself out so it can continuously keep a charge.
You know, and just to add to that, the higher the capacity is, the longer it takes to recharge it, too. Right. So, I mean, some of these take like 12 hours to recharge on a standard outlet. So just imagine trying to generate that much power to recharge just your battery bank on your generator, right? Or something like that. All right. So, I mean, something to consider. And just to add before you say anything, just to add, you know, just like your fuel tank, right? Just top them off, right? No point in having a battery bank that's like 10% full when the power's out, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, it was like now a lot of people, because of the, you know, like the world crises that we've been going through, a lot of companies has now dropped the price on like the solar charge battery banks, and like it takes like 18 hours for it to be charged by the sun, but you know, CR, like to do solar ignition or anything, it's got to be perfect. It's got to be the right, you know, the right time. And say you have a week of rain, no sunlight at all, it's gonna, if
you're gonna have very minimal, very minimal, if any.
Right.
And we're not even assuming, you know, the darkness, right? I mean, we're coming into fall, right? So like daytime is getting less and less until the winter solstice again, right? So, and then batteries also have issues. Lithium-ion batteries and stuff like that have issues with cold, maintaining a charge, right? In the cold, your battery dies pretty fast, you know.
Yeah.
I shot a video, and they're like, well, for you guys it'd be like minus 22 Fahrenheit in the US, minus 30 Celsius here and everywhere else. I was at 50. I went out for 5 minutes. I came back in. My battery was down to like 2.
Yeah.
In 5 minutes.
Oh yeah.
That was so fast. I was just like, I'm like, oh my gosh, I got to charge it. It's almost dead.
So your batteries go down faster in the cold, huh?
Oh yeah.
Yes. They do. They do.
I didn't know that. That's great.
Yeah, and you know that's also, you know, a problem with like paranormal researchers that don't understand that.
Now.
Hey,
you said it, not me.
Just pointing that out.
Well, I would think I always thought, you know, I knew batteries when they got cold they would just like not work. That's what I thought. When it was super cold.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, as long as it's I mean, if it's under 50 degrees, it starts losing it. The colder it gets, the faster it drains.
Yeah.
Is also the exact same opposite. If the battery's too hot, it won't charge. You know, it like.
Oh yeah, like the solar
Like,
ones.
the cold
Yeah,
will
you gotta be
drain it.
careful.
The heat won't let it charge.
Yeah, the solar ones and stuff like that. You gotta be careful.
Mm-hmm. It's the exact same way. And see, that's another thing with, like, if you're charging car batteries. If you think you're making a complete power grid out of car batteries and daisy chaining it, if you have one bad battery with a bad cell in it, it will break down that whole entire grid, because all the others are doing that extra work to take over that one spot in the daisy chain that isn't doing anything. And with that overworking and pushing that current through the bad cell, if it's a lead battery, it can explode on you.
That's no good.
And you don't want hot lead acid going on your body.
Oh no. I'll pass.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be bad. You might need that first aid kit after all then.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, you know what? That first aid kit, like I said, I'm not a big fan of that kind of system of the bottle. I don't. It just doesn't jive with me. Like I said, because you can't. You can pull stuff out just to get everything. If it's at the bottom, it's at the bottom. And something like first aid is one of those things where, if it's important enough or whatever, like you want fast, right? You don't want to be wasting precious time, right? Because it could be serious enough that you only have minutes, right? And that's why I'm not a big fan of those bottle type of survival kits like that, because I just don't like that so much. It's too hard. You got to take the time to fit it all inside and take it all out and all this stuff, then put it back inside. I'm like, no. You might as well just have like a pouch or one of those Plano type of containers that you could just open, and it's more organized too, right?
Yeah.
Okay, man, I've got to hop down off here and go get my medicine.
It's nice talking to you.
Take care,
Maria.
All right,
love you,
thanks.
sis.
I love you too. Bye.
Bye.
But
yeah, it's just. See, I don't like the daisy chain idea. I really don't like how a lot of the prepper communities say to always make a daisy chain battery backup. And they're like, there's always going to be batteries. There's always going to be, no matter where you're at, you can find a battery. And yeah, that's true. But you don't know yourself if that battery is bad or how long it's going to take for that battery to go bad, And
yeah, I know what you mean, man, because batteries, rechargeable batteries only have a certain amount of recharge cycles before it starts to do,
right.
Basically you become a slave to the charger, just like a laptop. People are familiar with laptops, right?
Yeah.
Where the battery's just done, right? You have to let it be plugged in all the time now, because you can't even get a minute off the battery anymore.
Right. That is true. I mean, you see how fast a battery goes dead without an alternator, and you can drive what, 3-4 miles in a car, and that's equal to what, 1 hour of runtime for one battery that's not having a constant voltage recharging it.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, and that's another flaw with the prepper community is they want to run this on solar panels. They want to run it on a solar time kit, but they don't want to think of a backup alternator run. I mean, you can buy separate, motorized engines, but yes, you still need an electric source for that to even run also. So you're reusing half that battery power to run the alternator and the motor, just to get the exact same power as what we would get from a solar charger, like a battery bank, So it's useless. It's really useless. But each their own. You know what I mean? Like, if they feel more comfortable with it and having that whole entire system blow up on them, more power to them,
Well, I guess in a lot of things in the prepping community, it's trying to make progress forward. Hopefully it's good progress and something that you can sustain for a while.
Right.
You can have all the rice and beans in the world, but eventually you will run out of that if there's no resupply. And eventually you might have to grow it, as they say.
True. Yeah, I mean, see, like me, I would rather run on ancient technology, like the Saudi Arabian batteries that we found, like out of clay pots. Why aren't we researching? Why isn't the prepper community researching older technology that was used thousands of years ago? And what was it? In like 5 years ago, they found these clay pot batteries. Didn't know what it was, and they still were holding charges to this day. Like that's some kind of technology that we as a prepper survival community need to understand and evolve our ways into it.
Well, you know what? Just to add there, I mean, there's a lot we can learn from our communities, right? We can learn from the gardening community, the homesteading community, right? The bushcraft community, even the crafting community, because they put stuff together, right? I mean, like, this is why I kind of, how do I say?
Thank you, Eli, brother.
I kind of wrap it all as like community that I can gain information from or like learn from, right? This is why, I'm supporting these garden communities, these homesteaders and stuff like that, because there's lots to learn from them, right? To make up for the reasons why none of us know everything, right? But a lot of us know a lot of things, so. See, lots of people are coming into the chat. Hi, everyone in the chat.
Hello, everyone. Sorry, I lost signal for some reason.
Don't worry. I'll be a good co-host.
Thank you, brother. Thank you, sir.
Yes.
But it's we also need to reestablish bartering once again. It's one of those skills. It's one of those community ways of life that is going to be needed later on down the road. Instead of what we have on us now is like, like I was saying, like the first aid kit thing that I have. This is a barter item, and if somebody's out of medical supplies or they're running low on medical supplies, this has enough on it. It's not a massive.
Yeah, something that you could trade or exchange for something else, right?
Right. Hey, Seth.
Like it could be even for a service, right? I've done that I've shoveled snow in exchange for like metal files and a map, a laminated map. Right? They're like, oh, what do you want? I'm like, oh, I'll take that. So that's all you want? I'm like, yeah, because I know the value of that.
Right. Because a metal file can be used for anything and everything. I mean,
well, it's not only that, but it helps me create, right? It helps me do stuff, right? You know,
Right.
the map is just like a bonus, you know, just in case, right?
Sorry, my work's texting me.
That's okay. That's okay. That's okay.
You know
Oh, I have lots.
Amber.
I have lots to say at times. For anyone that drops
Right.
by my live streams, I have lots to say at times. I have stories to share too. Yeah,
That's why
you know
I
we're all
love-
we're all in this journey, right? We all start from somewhere, right?
Yes.
You know.
And you know, I really hate how the survival and prepper communities are really acting like they are like godsends to this,
Yeah.
and they
Started somewhere too. They all had to learn from, you know, our forefathers and stuff like that, right? And I mean, like, you know, they weren't just born and just everything in their head, and they just knew how to do this, right? Make feather sticks and all this other stuff. They had to practice too, right? You have to practice some of this stuff, right? And learn it, right? But that's the thing. Anyone can potentially learn this kind of stuff. Just gotta, you know, kind of practice, commit to it, and, you know, eventually develop it, right? You know,
right.
not everyone can make feather sticks, okay, but practice at it, you know, as much as possible, right? You'd be surprised. You'd be like, oh, look at that. I mean, look, I made fender sticks and I used my ferrocerium rod and I got it to light up. No matches, no whatever, right? You know,
Right.
and take pride in doing that because, you know, not everyone can do that, right?
And see, you know, people think, oh, ferrocerium rod, oh, it's so easy to use, and it's not. Like they get the idea, just like a lot of survivalists believe, because they watch their idols like Bear Grylls or Les Stroud or whoever, and make a bow drill kit, and they think, oh, they made a bow drill kit.
You know what? With Les Stroud, he has this episode that he's shown that it took him a long time to get the bow drill going. He had to really try at it, right? So it's not always easy. I mean, a ferrocerium rod, you got cotton ball, petroleum jelly, okay, you know, that's one thing. But go to the next level and trying to do that with like actual just wood itself. I'm not talking about fat wood or anything like that, or birch bark or anything like that. I mean, talking about like just wood itself, right? Where you made feather sticks. That is a lot more difficult than it seems.
Oh yeah, and people think, oh, I was watching a survival channel, and they were talking about getting the pith, you know, from rotting wood, and using a ferrocerium rod on it and creating instant fire. And I was like, no, pith is a ember holder.
Yeah, it's just like punkwood.
Yeah,
something like punkwood.
It's a holder. But
you still have to blow that into flame. You still have to blow that amber into the flame.
Right. It's like horseshoe fungus, you know. All it is a smolder. If you can, I mean, it's easy to get an ember on it and keep that ember burning in like horseshoe fungus, but it's not instant fire. You know, you need everything else. You know, you need your tinder, you need everything else to start that. But people just don't. People that's never actually been out in the woods, they don't understand the concepts. You know, they think, oh, if I just strike this ferrocerium rod 5 million times, it's going to start a fire somehow. Yeah. Have you ever struck a ferrocerium rod like 500 times? Do you know how?
See, I have this, you know, Matt, I have this video where I showed me using just wood that was not punk wood. I mean, not punk wood, not fat wood, no birch or anything like that, no accelerants in the wood itself. And I actually had to try a little bit more, right? You know, trying to aim into one spot, and like eventually I got it. But I'm like, that was dry wood too, right? So I
Right.
can just imagine, with not so dry wood and drying that out. Like that would be much harder, you know.
Right.
And
It's also,
if in a serious situation, right?
Yeah.
Remember how we said about like what we use first for a fire starter, right? And we can go about that too, right? But nothing wrong with having matches or lighter, right? But the thing is,
right.
learn the ferrocerium
That's the insane
rod,
thing.
stuff like that, just in case you don't have access to the matches. The matches get soaked. You lose the lighter. You break the lighter. You still have the ferrocerium rod. Okay. At least I still got sparks now, and like an old
I got you, Dave,
teacher.
brother. Yeah, I turned it down.
Yeah,
Can you
as an
still
old
hear
teacher.
it?
Yeah, no, it's good. It's good. Like an old
Okay.
wise teacher said to me, the secret to fire is surface area.
Yes. Yeah.
Right. Like for ferrocerium rod lighters and matches, you want to get more surface area. If you're trying to make an amber with solar ignition, you probably want it tight like a ball, so it
Right.
develops an amber, right?
Yeah.
And with solar, obviously darker surfaces absorb that thermal energy a lot better. Something like a Sharpie or something like that. There's a big difference. Especially if you're using a small credit card size lens, right?
Yeah.
Because I've tried solar ignition later in the day and earlier in the day.
Right.
Yeah, it helps if the surface is darker. Oh, it's high noon and I got like this 10 by, this sheet size. Yeah, I can do it. It's like fast, right? Yeah, I ain't like to do that, but sometimes you gotta remember that. How would I say? How it works, the science behind it too. It's like
Right. I mean, we don't need to get into all that.
I'm not gonna get deep into that, but yeah.
Yeah. It's okay.
Yeah.
We'll lose more people once we start going into science of things.
Don't worry, I'll leave that for my channel. I'll leave that for my own space.
No, it's just people are really basic. They just want to know
but
if
that's
it
why I
works or
wanna.
not.
Yeah, I try to
Yeah.
slim it down.
No, it's just like a lot of people. The thing is, like a ferrocerium rod, a magnesium bar, stuff like that is great for people that don't have skills, that don't know anything about it, because the magnesium, bar, all you do is just scrape the magnesium off and you strike it, and you strike the ferrocerium rod, and boom, you
And
have
always
instant fire.
try to make sure you have that air stuff, that tinder ready as much as possible, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes taking the time to set it up is better than well, I got to use an air match. I've seen that before in camping at times, right? Where I see people trying to set up fires and just like, maybe it would help if you, took your knife out and, process the material a lot better, increase the surface area. And like some people say out there, friction warm it, the tinder up and stuff like that, right? I've seen that with my own eyes, doing that with solar ignition. I did that. I did 2 times. One time I didn't do the friction rub it because it was slightly damp. Oh my gosh! As soon as I friction rubbed it, like use your body, and rub it in your hands, like and boom, I was getting a flame, blowing it into flame so easily. I'm like, so I always keep that in mind. Body heat and stuff like that. Try to dry it out, right?
Yeah. No, Dave, I'm not suggesting that everyone's stupid.
See, that's why I'm trying to choose my words carefully here.
Yeah. I'm suggesting that there's a certain few that believe that they can achieve something by, watching name brand, people, even though that they've never done it.
That's just a video, right? I mean, like, anyone can watch a video, but it takes something different to actually do it, right?
Yeah.
With your own hands and see. Yep. Go ahead.
Yeah. I said I watched a YouTube channel and everything, and okay, Bear Grylls has a video thing on Netflix where you choose your own survival
Oh yeah,
scenario.
I forgot. Yeah, I tried that just to see it. I'm just like,
Yeah.
uh,
It is like, you take like 10 seconds to choose whatever. He comes to a situation and it's like, use your knowledge. Which one's better? And this YouTuber was like doing it, like choosing it. And like, supposedly he chose all the right scenarios. And I'm watching it and I'm saying, yeah, you chose the right scenarios because it's an A and B choice, but you're not doing it. It's him doing it. And trust me, he's probably in better shape and,
more proficient at it.
right. It's not you in that situation. You may have the mindset for it, but have you ever done it? And that's the problem with a lot of our
that muscle
survival
memory
movies.
and
Yeah,
things that you learned from the past that you might have screwed up in the past and learned from it. It's like, oh yeah, increase the surface area and all this stuff,
right.
right?
Yeah. It's just one of those things. Dave, let me know whenever you decide to go live, sir. So, because I'm just doing this as a pre-game live until you go live. But I want everybody in this chat room. I know all y'all know each other, but if y'all haven't went to my friend over here, CR, did I make you a mod, CR?
No. I mean, I
did.
wasn't gonna push it. I wasn't gonna push it. I'm just kidding.
No, I can't do it on the phone.
No, that's okay. Do it when you can, right? Do it when you can.
Yeah. But follow Creative Redundancy. Look him up on YouTube and everything. He's a really good friend and brother.
See, the thing is, the reason why there's multiple reasons why I chose this as a channel name is because, first of all, no one else has it. So, you put it in, it's there, right? It's not like trying to look for everything, right? And the creative part and the redundancy part are supposed to go hand in hand, right? Creating something, and the redundancy part is supposed to be like words like backup, and stuff like that. That's what it was supposed to mean, right?
Yeah.
That kind of being able to put something together to help you out, right? Because like not all of us have a bunker, thousands of dollars to spend, or tens of thousands of dollars to spend, right? Sometimes we have to. We only have so much, right? We have to budget. We have to go to Goodwill secondhand, garage sales, yard sales, and all that stuff. So, and apparently I just lost it here. So I guess I'm supposed to keep going here. I guess on the bright side of having a co-host, I guess, oh, he's back. I think.
Hi.
Yeah. Aren't you glad that I came on? Aren't you glad I came on? Or else your stream would have ended right there, probably.
Ain't that the truth? Oh, it's done it a few times. I've left Dave on my live streams by himself. On my live stream.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you, David. Thank you for putting his link out.
Yes, I appreciate that. David. Appreciate that. That's why I always promote the creative side, the creating side, being able to create something. Because if we think about in the past, caveman times and stuff like that, someone had to come up with the idea or put it together, create it, all right? And then people start to see, oh, hey, that looks useful. Can you show me how to do that? Or I want to learn how to do that, right? And then maybe stuff like flint napping just caught on. People learn from other people that used to flint nap, and it goes on. And here we are now.
Right. I mean, we've lost a lot of our primitive ways of being able to survive. Yeah, a lot of people consider primitive ways of survival bushcrafting and stuff, but it's not. Like what you said, flint knapping, being able to create a fishing hook out of a curved barb from, say like a tinga thorn, like what the Cherokee and a lot of native tribes use
Mhm.
to go fishing with. We don't have that knowledge anymore. It's because we don't use it. We don't utilize it either. Because there's going to
I
be
always think like a DIYer, right? Do it yourself when you can, right? Because
right.
That self-reliance thing, it's gonna be do it yourself, right?
Yeah.
Right now maybe you might have access to other people and things and online and all this stuff, but other times you might be on your own, right? You might be on your own or limited on what you can get for
Right.
intel or information, so you have to rely on what you do know in your head and what you can do with your hands and skills, right?
Well, see, like another thing that I think has jaded our community also is one well-known survivalist that's around. He created the 2 is 1, 1 is none. I think that's jaded our community with man-made items. Yes, man-made items has made our life a lot easier in survival. But if you overpack with everything, if you take 2, what is this? What is this? A 32-ounce water bottle, right?
Yeah, okay.
You take 2 of these 32-ounce water bottles. That is 64 ounces of water. That weighs between what?
1 gallon weighs about 8 pounds.
Yeah. So you're looking at maybe a pound and a half of water.
Okay.
And it's not solid weight. It's moving weight because water sloshes, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, say you take 2 knives with you, something like this. This is about maybe a half a pound, right?
Okay.
That's more weight. Then
so
you got to think,
that's like 3 pounds right there.
Right. Then you got to think, oh, I got to take my cook kit with me. And if you're like anybody else,
shelter, food, and all this other stuff, right?
Right.
No.
All that 2 is 1, 1 is none thing.
I'll play the devil's advocate here. Sometimes there's certain things that are just that important to the bag or to the situation. I mean, I'm just talking about like water, right? For you, water might be more important, right? I may be able to get by with just 1 container, right?
Right.
Something like that. But for something like me, for the shelter elements during the winter, I probably want a little bit more because I'm probably gonna need that, right? And for you guys in the summer, you can scoot by on the shelter a little bit more, right? Because it's not gonna be below freezing, but I just wanted to add that in. And sometimes about that excess stuff, it's just like I'm removing a couple of little things. I know, that whole saying, ounces equals pounds and pounds equals pain, right?
Right.
I take out these little key rings and people are like, oh, that's not much weight. Well, you know what? It all adds up.
Yes. Every little bit adds.
Yeah, like I have my bag right beside me. I actually took out I purposely took out all the key rings out. It's because I'm just like, key rings, I'm like, how useful is that? Or could I be using something else? So instead of having key rings, I have more like cordage, paracord, and stuff like that because I find it more useful, and stuff like that.
Well, see, like cordage, okay? Cordage is one of the most heavy and most mass taking items that you can carry, except for like paracord, you know. But
Or bank
paracord
line.
also has its flaws, you know.
You know,
And
there's also hard bank line.
yeah, yeah, like if you're taking just like basic nylon rope or whatever with you,
Yeah,
that
yeah.
stuff is bulky. It weighs. It weighs. Plus, it's also encumbering. You know, it takes up space that you could use other things for instead of being able to find what you need. Yeah, in the
But the
South,
thing is, sometimes cordage, you know, yeah, I can
you
use
need.
vines or whatever, or, you know,
Yeah,
twist something together. But sometimes you don't have access to that resource. And in the middle of winter, if it's snowing out, I'm pretty sure I'm not gonna find vine or be able to twist some natural cordage together. Or
right.
yeah, I think I want some cordage at that situation, right? You know,
Yeah. Well,
so
that's why they created, you know, like the paracord bracelets and everything. It's not
hmm.
as encumbering, you know what I mean? Instead of just like
I like how he
like
just has one right nearby. It's like, oh well,
yeah, I got two of them together. Look at that, one for each
yeah,
wrist.
yeah.
And you know that's two, because the blue and black one Miss Star made for me. All right, and this is wrapped with two separate strands of 50-foot
Hmm.
paracord on it. So I have 100 foot of paracord just here, and this one is two strands of 25 foot. So look how much I have in such a small thing. But most people, they're just gonna grab like like a 300 foot thing of paracord and throw that thing in their bag, which weighs like 5 pounds. You know?
Or whatever it is, right? And I
Yeah.
also realize from using cordage so much, it's just one thing I don't like is when it knots and tangles. This is why,
Right.
for the most part, I try to have like spools or a quick braid deployed that I can just deploy it real fast, right? Because tangles and stuff like that, it's just annoying. Especially,
Yeah.
I mean, one thing if it's in paracord, you probably could undo it. You know, it's only 20 feet, you probably can undo it. But if it's like in like bank line, you're like, where's the end? You know,
Right.
you're spending 5-10 minutes trying to do that, right? It's
Yeah.
See, I've seen this one video where someone was trying to pull inner strands of paracord out, right? And one of the first
Mhm.
things, if you're gonna do something like that, put it around a stick, spool it up, right, so it doesn't
Right.
tangle up, right? Because you don't want to be spending time untangling something like that, you know.
Yeah, that is
You know,
true. You know,
right?
yeah, they say,
Try to
you
save
know,
time, right? Try to save time, right? Because
yeah,
depending on the situation, time might be, you know, something you can't waste, right? Especially if it's important.
right.
You know, it's just like the first aid kit, right? Try to fast, right? You know,
Yes.
when sometimes I see survival, bags or whatever, I'm like, so where's this first aid kit? I want, you know, I like to see it on the
Right.
outside, near the top, easy access, you know, maybe less than 15 seconds, right? Because
Yeah.
if it's at the bottom of the bag, or you gotta open up this, pull this out, then get to it, it's like, well, I don't know.
Nice, Carl. Yeah, like, you know, paracord has such multi uses anymore. I mean, you know, beforehand, nobody ever paid attention to paracord. You know, it was like, it was out there. And now, like, what do you say, CR? The last 8 years, 7, paracord has really became a staple in the survival community, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
It's just,
I think it's because, you know, it's got the inner strands, and nowadays there's paracord that has like more strands, and well, not just more strands,
yeah,
but like additional things inside of it, right? Some sort of
like the
hybrid,
survivor cord.
or yeah, the fire cord and all that sort of stuff, you know.
Yeah. It has like a piece of copper wire in it that you can use for like snare
I
traps.
think, yeah, I think that kind of cordage, in my opinion, is meant for survival use only, right?
Yeah.
Because you don't have to take the time to pull that out.
Right.
That's for survival use, maybe like on person or maybe in a small tin, maybe something like that, right? But if in a backpack, you probably want actual fishing line, actual tinder with you, something you can access fast, right? And I get this fire cord, I can get tinder off, or I can just bring cotton balls with petroleum jelly on them, something like that instead, right? Or the fishing line, right? And just like, or you could just have something on a spool already, so you don't have to do that, right? Something like that. Those kind of things should be last ditch, right? Maybe in a bracelet like what you have, right? Last ditch. Okay, I got nothing else on me. I need to use it.
And see, that brings me to like the Altoid 10 survival kit stuff. I've always hated that idea of the survival tent and like Altoid's 10 survival kits. But the Altoid 10s do have a purpose on certain things, like a basic like fishing kit. You know what I mean?
Fire kit, something like that. Fire kits are very common because you can make charcoal off it and stuff like that. Yeah. Or to organize these things together, right? That's another thing of what I'm trying to do is get the organization too, right? Because I don't want things scattered throughout the bag or the system. And no offense to anyone that buys a pre-made kit or anything like that, but sometimes you want to know what's inside, right? What's inside. That's why I like to put something together, right? Because usually if you put something there, you know what's going inside, right? It's like you're physically putting this knife in there. You're physically putting this and that in there, right?
Yeah. It's customized to your needs, not
some generic, broad opinion about something. Yeah.
Yes. Well, like, okay, like a lot of survival kits and everything, like pre-made survival kits, like
they're not all bad. They're not all bad. I've seen some of them. I'm like, they're not all bad. I'm not saying they're all bad, right? But some of them are lacking at times.
Yeah, but look at the prices of the ones.
Well, I mean, you gotta remember, you're paying someone's getting paid to put it together, right?
Right.
They get the items in bulk or whatever at a discount or at a a bulk price, and they're just putting it together, and they get right because they gotta pay whoever's putting it together, right?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure a machine or a robot's not putting the survival kit together yet. I'm just saying, right? I'm just saying there's probably people actually putting it together, so the price that you pay is the convenience of someone else putting it together to scout it out, bring it all together and put it together for you.
Yeah. And I understand the water purification tablets, but the thing is, the water purification tablets take so long to purify water for you. But like, say you're on your second or third day of survival and you haven't had water at all, and then you finally find that water source, and then you have to wait X amount of time for that water to be purified for you to drink. Why?
Yes, and the more cloudy it is, it takes longer. And if it's colder out, the colder the water is, it takes longer too, right?
Yeah.
Compared to the standard, let's say 30 minutes that it makes. Yeah. Right. Because on the packaging, it will say like if it's colder out or if there's debris and stuff like that, you have to wait longer, right?
Yeah, you have to wait
just to make
X amount of time.
Yeah, because microbes and stuff like that can be harbored inside the grains of sand on the inside that that it takes contact time, right, for it to break.
Yes.
Well,
yeah, it's just like it's just like the bleach particles and stuff like that. But the thing, it's why don't they put in, water filters are the cheapest nowadays. They are so cheap, especially from China, stuff like that. And if these pre-made survival kits, instead of putting 6 purification tablets in it, put a 1,000-gallon water filter in there from China.
Well, I mean, I'll play the devil's advocate again. Water purification is lighter in weight.
Right.
Right. And for some kits or whatever, some systems that people have, it may be a benefit, like in your get-home bag, maybe a go bag too, right? But or a tin, right? Something like that. That you don't quite have the space for a water filter per se, but you have the space, and you can afford the weight of just the water purification tablets and stuff like that.
Well, Novex created that pin water filter that filters out.
Yeah. I mean, like some of them are quite small.
Yeah, like the little straw water filter that's the size of a pin, and
Mm-hmm. I know. I mean, some of them have these activated carbon. Activated carbon
filters.
Yeah, the charcoal filter parts. So it tastes a little bit better. Remove heavier, some heavy metals, microplastics, and stuff like that. Right.
Right. Okay, CR brother, I'm gonna have to get off here. Work's asking me to send some files to them. So supposed to be my off day, and I'm supposed to be having fun and talking. And
you don't come back, right? Tell me you don't come back, cause you just leave me hanging. Don't leave me hanging. He's leaving me hanging. He's leaving me hanging.
I'm sorry,
okay,
brother.
Okay.
Sorry.
Anyways, I appreciate you inviting me on. It's nice to meet the side chat, and I guess we need to do this more often. Here or on my channel. All right. Take care, everyone. Take care,
brother.
All right. Later, everyone. Bye.
All right, everybody. Bye, brother. All right, everybody. I love you all. That was one of my brothers and everything from our survival community. He's very well knowledge. That guy knows his stuff too. So, I know, Tammy. I know, sis. I gotta take care of work, but maybe I can do this again. But I love you all, family. And next survival live stream that we do, we're going to venture onto wish.com and do another wish.com survival bag setup, showing you what we were talking about, what we were discussing, what's good options, good everything. Then we'll also discuss a lot of Morris Kohansky ideas and survival gear setups, like the survival scarf, the survival bucket, not plastic bucket, but metal bucket. But thanks, Minton. I'm glad you came too. But I love you all. Y'all take care. And maybe I'll see y'all on Dave's live whenever he decides to go live. But until then, I love y'all. Y'all take care and be safe out there. Bye, fam.